Hey guys, so I'm going to be showing you how I do my makeup for Marshall Lee. And as you can see, I already have my contacts and my ears and my wig cap on. Before I start anything, I like to moisturize my skin because my skin tends to be very, very dry. And I do not want to be looking crusty when I'm at a convention or doing a photo shoot or whatever I'm doing with this kind of makeup. Now, after I rub all my lotion in, I like to put a primer on. I'm using Photo Loving Primer by NYX. The definitely best part about using a primer is it's going to help your makeup stay on a lot longer. So go ahead and just rub it in wherever you're going to be painting yourself. So my face and my neck, and I dropped the cap and I couldn't find it, so I just decided to leave it. And I'm going to go take my Ben Nye Clown White. This is an oil-based makeup. I definitely recommend starting with an oil base because it's going to help so you don't sweat off your makeup if you're wearing this for a long period of time. I used to just do like the gray snaz, and it would always just kind of melt off of my face. So this first layer does not have to be perfect. It can be done messily because you're going to be covering up with gray anyway. It's just going to have a nice kind of, as long as it's pretty much even, it doesn't have to be perfect, just wherever you're going to be painting gray. And once you're done with the white, go and take your gray snaz and some water, and I just use the same brush that I was using before, and dip a little bit of water in there and just start painting the gray all over your face. This first layer of gray also, this one does not have to be perfect because it is kind of the first layer of gray, and once your first layer is done, you want to let that dry before you do your second layer. And then here I've already done my second layer. I'm just kind of doing some last minute touch-ups. When I do my second layer of gray, I do like to kind of spend a little more time going back to spots like my nose or my ears, just wherever I think needs a little extra bit of gray. I don't want no pink or whatever skin tone showing through. But yeah, just doing little bits of touch-ups here and there, making sure everything looks pretty even, especially around my mouth and chin. I do like to go back and do some extra coats there. And once you're done with your snaz, got a little more here. I like to do a little extra on my neck too, just because it's going to be rubbing around in your collar or shirt, so I just don't want it to smudge off too easily. Alright, so then I'm going to be setting all my makeup. So my first thing I'm going to be setting is the Mayron barrier spray. And go ahead and let that dry. Do a couple more sprays. Definitely get it all over wherever the gray is. And let that dry, and I'm going to go in and take my matte finish spray by NYX and just add a little extra. I usually will do a powder finish first, but I actually am out of my powder, so but you can use baby powder. I mean, I use a Mayron setting powder, but I unfortunately am out, so that sucks, but oh well. It's a little expensive, but it's definitely worth it, and I just found my cap to my primer. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm probably looking through a song or something. Oh well, so once all your setting sprays and everything is good and dry, we're going to do eyebrows. So taking a black eyebrow gel from e.l.f., this was literally like $1, and a angle brush, we're going to do your eyebrows. For this look, I like to make my eyebrows appear a little thicker, because I just like that look. I mean, my eyebrows are kind of thin, so I like to thicken them up a little bit. I think it looks a lot better for the character I'm trying to go for. I feel like the eyebrows definitely frame your face. And so I like to experiment with different eyebrow shapes. This is kind of just like standard following my own eyebrow shape here. But I mean, you can pretty much do whatever kind of eyebrow you want. You could do like the little dots. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, whatever you like. I personally like this type of eyebrow shape. I think it looks good on me. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. But I personally like this. And I like to go over my eyebrows just a couple times with a couple different layers, because sometimes that gray snaz likes to stick around your eyebrow hair and it kind of will blend in with the black. I want it to be more black than a dark gray, so I kind of go back and make sure everything is filled in nicely. And also what I will do when I'm done with the actual eyebrow shape, I like to dip my brow brush in the color and then pinch the brush tip so then it's really thin. And I like to draw little tiny individual hairs just kind of below my eyebrow to make it look like it's more realistic. Because, I don't know, I just my preference, I like my brows to be a little more realistic looking. That's just my preference. I don't like it when it just looks like an outline. But once you are satisfied with your eyebrows and they are on fleek and on point and looking good, we're going to go ahead and do contouring. I believe contouring is a really, really good thing after you paint your face. So we're going to take the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette in the color Crave and a contour brush and just kind of contour your face. I like to focus more on points that I want to pop out more, like such as my cheekbones and my jawline. This Urban Decay palette, the colors are pretty, very, very pigmented, so I think on the first cheek there I put a little too much, so I'm literally just using whatever's left on my brush from the other side of my face. This is actually my first time using this palette for this makeup, so this is kind of a test run. But I definitely like to strengthen up my jawline there. I will try to blend it out later, but I definitely like to have a strong jaw with this look. I don't know, I feel like Marshall would have a strong jawline, I don't know. Then I kind of do my temples. I don't know, my hair's going to be kind of covered up with hair anyway, but oh well, I do it anyway. It looks like I'm rubbing that. I'm actually tapping it to blend it in. And I'm taking an eyeshadow brush because I'm going to start working on my eyeballs. I like to have that kind of sunken in look because he is a vampire. You know, obviously vampires are not alive, so they're going to have some sunken in eyeballs. But I like to do that area and also around the bridge of my nose too, because I feel like that gives me more of a sunken in eyeball look. I think it looks a lot better when it's like that anyway. And then I'm going to go down my nose once I get there. Yeah, go down my nose, kind of do a little couple dots and just tap that in to blend it out. And this is just I'm kind of just making my nose look a little wider. Just a little wider. And once you're satisfied with that, this is just my personal thing. I like to make my nose look like it's like a little turned up and kind of more pointy at the tip. I feel like this is more, I don't know. I just feel like this is just what Marshall would have as a nose. And then I like to also take that color and bring it down underneath my eyeballs too. Just kind of tap that to blend it out. Once again, giving it more of a darker circle sunken in eyes. And I put a little too much color there, but I had to rub that a little bit. But just kind of blend it all out under your eyeballs. And once you are satisfied with your eyes, then I like to go ahead and move to my chin area. Yeah, I like to do a little under my lip to give my chin a more rounded look. And then a little bit on my cupid's bow. I just feel like that needs a little bit too. And I like to strengthen my chin, just adding some little bit of shadows there just to make it look a little stronger. And this is also another personal preference that I like to do. I like to add a little dimple so it looks like I have a little bit of butt chin. That's just what I like to do. I don't know, I think it's cute. I don't know. You tell me. I think it's cute. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some contour on my neck because we can't forget about that. It's also an important feature too. Even when you're doing any kind of look, I feel like any kind of makeup you should just kind of do it. Even if it's very, very light, I feel like a little bit of contour is always nice on your neck. Alright, and then once you are satisfied with your contour, and then we're going to do our mouth. I personally like to add a little bit of color on my lips because I've seen a lot of people who've done gray that just leave their mouth just gray, and I personally do not like that. I think a little bit of color helps add, obviously not making it look like I'm wearing lipstick because I'm not doing a female character, but I feel like a little bit of color is going to help it not look so flat, and I think it just looks better when there's a little bit of color on your lips instead of just being a flat gray. I think it personally looks kind of tacky. And then I'm going to take my black eyeliner and I'm going to just outline the waterline. I'm not going to put a too thick of layer. I don't want it to make it look like I'm wearing eyeliner, but I just want to cover up that pink in my eyes. I'm trying to make sure any of my skin tone is not showing through. And then I'm just going to do a little extra. Once you're satisfied with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the little bite marks on my neck. And I'm pretty sure I did it on the wrong side, but oh well, was not looking at a reference picture. Make sure everything looks good. And once you're satisfied with all your makeup, it's time to get dressed. and put your clothes on. And I am not wearing any arm socks because I was just going to wash this off right after, but I do recommend wearing arm socks. I have an arm sock tutorial video. They're easy to make. I mean, time consuming, but easy to make. So definitely recommend that. If you don't, I mean, if you're going to paint your arms, definitely seal, because you don't want to be that guy that gets paint on everyone. Alright, now we're going to get our weave, and this is a wig from Arta. I forgot what it's called, but I absolutely love Arta wigs. They're probably my favorite company to buy wigs from. They're really thick, and they're really high quality, and they're so easy to work with. And I absolutely 10 out of 10 would absolutely recommend to anyone. They're a little on the pricey side, but I say it's definitely worth it if you want a really good quality wig. And they're pretty easy to style too. Like, I can just move the hair around and it stays wherever I want it to be. Normally, if I'm going to a convention or something, I will spray my wig down after I'm done styling, but I didn't have any spray with me. I'm actually out of my spray, but I do recommend Got2b. Really good spray. It holds like glue, and it's really great, especially if you're going to a convention where you're going to be outside and it's windy. You don't want your weave flying around or getting messed up. Definitely recommend, but just do any little last minute touches to your weave. And once you are satisfied, I've got to go ahead and button my shirt up. But yeah, pretty much you're done. Like, that's pretty easy. I mean, just making sure everything's good. But yeah, that's basically how. So this is how I do my Marshall Lee makeup. This is what I prefer. This is the best way for me. I mean, this works for me. It may not work for you, but it could work for. It could. But thank you for watching, and feel free to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.